Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
With temperatures on the rise, it's tempting to take a dip in the Red River and its tributaries. But over the last 3 weeks, emergency crews have responded to multiple water rescue calls and recovered the bodies of 2 missing swimmers. Those events and reports of kids jumping off bridges into the water have authorities and locals wondering how to prevent further accidents. Valley News Team's Molly Casey has our story.
I wouldn't let it happen.
A recent post on Nextdoor alerted parents in Osgood to a group of kids jumping off of a bridge into the tributary, and parents in the area are worried their children might try it too.
He would do it, or he would try to follow what they're doing. Chellen's
son is only 3 years old, but he can't help but wonder what could happen.
They can break bones or get taken away by the water.
Tributaries aren't the only area kids and adults are using to cool off. The Red River has attracted swimmers too.
Some of the people that do go swimming there just are having a daredevil moment, I guess.
Gail and Larry Nelson walk near the river frequently and can see why people would jump in.
Doesn't look threatening at all. I wouldn't hesitate if I were a good swimmer to swim across.
But the smooth surface is deceptive.
Well, the people jumping off the bridges and stuff, they don't realize how much debris is sitting underneath those bridges.
That debris and the current make swimming in the river that much more dangerous.
It wouldn't be bad to have a sign saying, current is stronger than you think, beware.
Sign or not, it's safer to stay out of the water. From Fargo, Molly Casey, Valley News Live.
Valley Water Rescue wants to remind you that if you see someone in danger in the river, it's safest to throw them a flotation device and call 911. Do not try to rescue them yourself. A fire that tore through a South Fargo home early this morning gave firefighters an extra challenge by making them work without fire hydrants. Because of the home's location, it was not required to be part of a fire hydrant system. Officials say that living outside city limits presents unique challenges in a fire, and that residents may need to take additional measures to keep their homes safe.
Another thing is home fire sprinklers, which can be put even on a well system. And so if you had a home fire sprinkler, that's a way to extinguish a fire with a very small amount of water right at the very beginning of the fire. And again, that'd be a way to help reduce that risk.
Those living in the neighborhood say they would be happy to get access to fire hydrants, but worry about just how much those services would cost. And a man has been arrested after police say he was involved in an armed robbery early this morning. Police arrested this man, 27-year-old Kasif Grant, on an armed robbery charge along with 2 other men who had outstanding warrants. Around 3 this morning, police were called to the Quality Inn off of 13th Avenue for the report of an armed robbery involving a gun. Police issued a search warrant, one of the hotel rooms, and took a total of 7 people into custody. Investigators say they did find a handgun they believe was used in the incident. Grand Forks police got some unexpected help from a citizen tracking down a driver involved in a hit and run. The person that was hit was able to follow the striking vehicle until police arrived. The driver of the vehicle has been identified as 30-year-old Joshua Thompson. He's facing multiple charges, including leaving the scene of an accident and reckless driving. When officers got to the scene, Thompson sped off. The pursuit went on to the interstate and then back onto the city streets before Thompson lost control and went into a ditch. Blasts were heard all over town last night, but not just from the passing storm. Many people set off fireworks into the nighttime sky, and something that, remember, is illegal right here in the city of Fargo. We wanted to know how many 911 calls were related to fireworks and how many, if any, citations were issued. We poured through the 911 calls from midnight on the 4th through this morning, finding nearly 130 calls across Cass and Clay counties. Fargo police tell us since last Tuesday, they've taken over 230 calls related to fireworks, issuing just 1 citation.
Historically, we don't issue that many citations. Typically, we'll respond to those complaints the best we can, understanding that the sheer volume of those complaints, they might sit for a while, and by the time we get there, they're unfounded.
And remember, there's a petition circulating to make the fireworks legal in Fargo city limits. But as we know, every 4th of July, officials have to deal with a number of firework-related injuries. Last night, a man was seriously injured after a firework blew up in his hands just outside of the No Bull Bar in downtown Fargo. The man has been identified as 46-year-old Richard Taskinen. He was taken to Sanford Health and is expected to survive, but his injuries are significant. And within the past week, Sanford's emergency department saw several serious firework-related injuries to the hand, body, and eye. These incidents range from minor injuries to serious traumas. And Essentia Health says they had 3 people come in with firework-related injuries just over the weekend. Another major issue in Washington is the Republican bid to repeal and replace Obamacare. And that's what brought Senator Hoeven to UND's medical school just earlier today. He was touring the new $124 million med school building, which is open to students this fall. He says he's also trying to gather what rural North Dakotans need when it comes to health care.
For low-income individuals, they have access to health care coverage either through Medicaid or through a refundable tax credit where they can buy their own policy.
He says the total repeal and replace process will take some time. He says it won't be done in one bill. Hobby Lobby has been hit with a big fine from the federal government for illegal smuggling. The arts and crafts chain agreed to settle civil action from the Justice Department. Hobby Lobby was accused of smuggling ancient cuneiform tablets and clay artifacts from modern-day Iraq into the U.S. The DOJ says Hobby Lobby gave its consent for the artifacts to be falsely labeled as ceramics and samples, and then illegally shipped to its stores and 2 corporate offices. Hobby Lobby's president admitted they should have been more careful about the acquisitions. According to court documents, the retail chain agreed to pay a $3 million fine and to forfeit thousands of Iraqi artifacts. There's a new executive director at the only homeless shelter in Grand Forks. Northland's rescue mission was put in the spotlight after 3 of their residents were found dead in the Greenway over the winter months last year. Sue Sherrick is the new executive director. She says that 10-day suspensions for violating the rules are not going away, but there will be a community partnership to watch the Greenway more closely.
As we go on, those rules might change because I don't know if they're always the best rules. And sometimes I think that you have to take a look at things from the opposite lens and say, do these rules help make people successful?
People are barred from the mission if they are found under the influence of drugs or alcohol. They're also in the process of hiring a full-time social worker. They believe that will better address individual client needs more effectively. Not even a month after opening up, the new Roberts Commons parking garage is working to make parking easier in downtown Fargo. Hourly parking is now available at the ramp, approximately 50 spaces for hourly parkers. And parking is free for the first hours and goes up to $8 if you leave your car parked for 6 hours or longer. And you can also park free on weekdays after 5 o'clock and all day on weekends. Contract and reserved parking are available for the garage. If you want more information, go over to valleynewslive.com and click on the hot button. In tonight's What Is It? The space next to the new Starbucks on the corner of Demers Avenue and South Washington Street will soon be selling subs. Smiling Moose Rocky Mountain Deli will open this fall at 623 South Washington Street. The nearest Smiling Moose is located in downtown Fargo. They're a fast casual concept that will serve an array of hot and cold sandwiches, salads, wraps, and soup.